bookaholics, welcome to another video. So today I'm going to talk about all the books I want to reread. Now I have a few here. Some of them I read a long time ago and I just haven't read them for a while and I just need to read them again. Or the one that I actually recently read and I just need to read them again. I just need to. Let's just get right into all the books I want to reread. The first one, technically I just reread it, but like I would reread it again because it's just so adorable. And like this was the book that inspired this video because I needed to reread it and I just ended up reading it that day that I thought about this video, and then I didn't do the video until the next day and I already finished it. But I'm still going to talk about it because this book I just can reread all the time and I don't think I'll ever get sick of it. But that one is Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertalli. The first time I read this book, I read it in one day. The second time I read this book, I read it in one day. It is so freaking good. This book I just cannot put down. I just had to finish it, and even though I knew what was going to happen, I was still just like, it still just touched my heart and it was just perfect, and I just absolutely love this book so freaking much, and it's just so good and I just absolutely love it and I cannot wait for the movie. Next one I would want to reread. This one I haven't read for a while and I read it a couple times and I still just like, it has a place in my heart because I read it when I was first kind of reading a lot, so it's just has a place in my heart. But that one is The Duff by Cody Keplinger. Again, it has a place in my heart. I don't know if I will enjoy it as much as I did when I first read it, but I do want to reread this one again and see if it still has that little place in my heart that I just absolutely love this book for. This book has been made into a movie and the movie is drastically different. It has the same characters, it has the same kind of idea, but it takes out some of the things that really makes this one so good. Well, the basis of this is pretty much enemies with benefits, and they kind of cut that out because it's pretty much PG movie, so they couldn't exactly have that in there. But I still love the movie, but I love the book so much more, and I just need to reread this just to kind of get myself back in that feeling that I had when I first read this book, and I'm hoping I still have that same feeling. So I really want to reread this book so I can see if it still has that place in my heart. The next one is actually one of the first ones I read of this author. The first one I actually read was Remember Me, but this one was like the second one, and it just made me really fall in love with this author, and that one is Twentyfifths Girl by Sophie Kinsella. This one was just adorable. There's a scene that I just still remember to this day. Like, I read this a long time ago and that scene is still just there in my head, and I actually had my sister read this and she absolutely loved it as well. She ended up buying the book too, and she ended up buying another book, but she just kind of let reading go by the wayside because life got in the way. But this book still has a place in my heart because it is what really made me fall in love with Sophie Kinsella and her writing, and I've been just following her ever since. The only books I haven't read was the Shopaholic series because I just haven't really gotten into that, and I just absolutely love the Shopaholic movie that I just don't want to taint it, so I just haven't read them. But I've been absolutely loving all their standalone books, and I will always read her books, so I just absolutely loved it, and this one was one of my favorites, and I just need to reread this one and see if it changed since my reading has changed. I became an English major because I read it before I was in university, so I want to see how my perspective on it has either changed or stayed the same. The next one I would love to reread, and I did actually try it a little while ago. It was still when I was in school, so I didn't quite get into it, but that one is 90 Minutes by Jodi Picoult. I haven't read a Jodi Picoult in so long. I don't know why I haven't picked out her new books, but I just haven't had the motivation to do it, and I feel like it's gonna come soon. This one was my favorite of her books. Like, it was my absolute favorite, and it was one of the first books I read of hers. Actually, the first one I actually read was My Sister's Keeper, but that is what kind of motivated myself to actually pick this one up because the synopsis was just so fascinating. It has a school shooting in it, and like with all the shootings that's going on during this time, like there's so many school shootings that it's so sad that it hasn't been like actually confronted, but like this would be a great book to read during this time just to have a bit more perspective, and I do really want to read this one again. It was just my favorite, and it really made me continue reading Jodi Picoult during the time that I was in grade 10, 11 is kind of when I was reading, like actively reading all her books. Like, I bought so many of her books during that time. She's my favorite. I just need to reread this one again, and I want to see how it has changed and how my perspective has changed, and I can't wait until I can actually reread this book. The next one I want to reread, which I read this year, and I just really wanted to reread it because it was just so freaking good. It's my absolute favorite book of the 2017. If you guys watching my videos for a while, you already know what this one is, but that one is The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. I need to reread this book. I just haven't actually done it yet, but this was my absolute favorite book in 2017. I don't think it's gonna change. It is just so good, and I just absolutely loved it. And with the movie hopefully coming out soon, I just need to reread it before it does. So it is on my list. I can't wait to see the new trailer. I don't know when it's gonna come out. I don't know when they're done filming, but I just can't wait, and I just need to read this book before that movie comes out. I just need to. The next one I would want to reread, I bought this book when I first started really actively reading after I read Twilight, and it was a book I bought because of the author of the book that really got me into reading, and that one is The Host by Stephanie Meyer. This is my absolute favorite book of hers. Like, I love to hate Twilight. I don't see myself reading that series again ever, but this book I will definitely reread because it is just, oh, it's so good. Like, honestly, how this book is the same author of Twilight, sometimes I don't understand, but like, it is just so freaking good. The characters are so very developed, the world is very developed. It is just so good, and I just need to reread this book again because it was so freaking good, and I just don't even know what to say because it was just my favorite, and it was like the best book I've read when I first started reading. It was my best, and like, I read this book, finished it. It was like late, I think it was like 3 or 4 when I finished this book. I reread it the next day. I started reading it the next day again. It was just that good, and I just can't wait to read this book. The next series I actually want to reread is the Infernal Devices series by Cassandra Clare. This series I only read once. Why that is, I have no idea. I haven't reread the last 3 books of the Mortal Instruments either. I reread City of Bones, City of Ashes, and City of Glass like at least 4 times. I just never reread these ones, and I just don't know why. I just need to reread these ones because I don't really remember too much. I remember the big stuff, but I don't remember the world of being in the 1700s, and I don't remember all those stuff, and I just need to remember it. I kind of want to do like the whole reread of all of Cassandra Clare's Shadowhunters, but that's a lot of commitment, and that's a lot of reading, and that's just a lot, but I do want to do it eventually. But I do want to reread this series. I don't know what else to say. But yeah, those are all the books I want to reread. Hopefully in 2018. I'm not too sure when I would be able to reread them because I have so many books that I haven't read that I have to read. I don't know, but I know these are the books that I really do want to reread. So that's why I'm talking about them. So yeah. So that is it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Comment down below all the books you guys want to reread. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Check out my other social media accounts, my Facebook, Twitter, Goodreads, and Instagram. I make a video every Thursday, and I'll see you guys next video. Bye!